Recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our 25th Artist Talk for this week. I am your host, Anubis3100, and with me today I have um, a great a great artist and his fellow team members working on a project. We tried to record this yesterday, actually, but my power said no, and essentially decided to go out of my whole block for a solid hour or so, and that was great. And so we lost all of our conversation yesterday, but alas, here we are. We're gonna do it again, and I'm actually excited for it because now I know some more stuff, and we get to delve a little bit deeper into the works. But with me today, I have Marwan Shaheen, who is a great artist. I personally had seen his work without actually knowing who he is back in around 2011, 2011 during the Egyptian Revolution, because one of his iconic artworks became was widely used by the people during their protests. And then when I found out he had entered the NFT space through Patricia, who the artist we had on last talk, I was like, "Yo, Marwan, we have to fucking get you on, dude. What you've done and just like the artwork and its influence, it's too big." And then when you said, "Oh, I'm working on this project, Astromojis, and I would like to bring on team members, Arya and Frida," I was like, "Hell yeah, let's fucking do it." Um, and to my happiness, Farid is from Iran, and Arya is from you said Dubai, I believe.
Yeah, I'm half Arab, half Persian. The Arab
Yes.
side is from Abu Dhabi, actually.
Oh, nice, nice. And
Yeah.
so, um, well, Marwan, I'll give you the floor to sort of introduce yourself, let people know sort of what your practice is, and then we'll get going.
Awesome, man. Honestly, I'm very humbled by that intro. That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Anubis, and thank you guys, the Metakey, for having us, for having me to give us the stage to talk about this art and this project we're working on. So, yeah, I would say my name is MARWAN SHAHIN. I was born and raised in Egypt, and I moved to LA like 4 years ago. I've been working on art here. I've been making shows. I've been making gallery shows, working on murals, and I think February or March last year I got into NFTs, and yeah, here we are. So the thing is, like the
Mm.
Egyptian, the art that you were talking about, the piece that got so famous was the Tutankhamun with the Viva Vendetta. That was like the piece that got like most recognition. Like it got all the attention to my work. I was an artist since 2000, like professionally since 2008. Um, I started off making like album covers for like MIA, Snoop Dogg, Sean
So
Kingston.
I forgot to mention this yesterday, but Snoop Dogg is in the NFT space as well.
I know. We've been trying to get him an Astro emoji, man. We're trying to get him an Astro emoji, man. So it's funny because like working with these like super high musical like figures, you really don't get to talk to the
Mm.
artist. You're usually getting like the management hit you up. You know what I mean? You usually get up, but the artist is usually involved. Like they get to approve the art in the end. But like when I did the MIA mixtape, I never really talked to her at all. It was just through the management and like the DJ who was mixing the mixtape cover, the mixtape. So I did the cover for them, but I never really talked to her. But I'm a huge fan. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
I was so psyched to do something for MIA. But yeah, later on, I got into the Egyptian Revolution happened, and I made this
Mm.
piece, and it blew up. It got into like CNN, New York Times, BBC, like all the major like press sources in the world were like making articles about it. So it really put my name and my art out there. But at the same time, it really inspired the people. Like you said, you've seen it before you even met me. And that's the case with a lot of Egyptians that I know or met. And not just Egyptians, honestly. That piece went
Mm.
global. So like I just met someone at a gallery show and he was from Germany and I showed him my work and he was like, I know this piece. Did you make this? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I know this. And he was like so psyched that he actually met the person who made this piece that he knew about. So that's definitely was one of the things that really struck me as an artist, that I could make art that communicate with the people that much, that inspire people that much, that's something that has a
Mm.
message and it would actually affect people in that way, that would give them like the power, or like even just inspire them, spark that flame inside of them to like voice their opinion, and they would feel moved. Or that's just a successful artwork to me, and that's how I started to like set the standard for my work. I had to like make art that has a message and has a meaning behind it, not just something that looks pretty. Because I believe like art has to do that. It has that power to move people, so it definitely should be utilized. Uh, yeah,
Mhm. Well, I mean, funny enough, my aunt remembers seeing it. Her friend remembers seeing it.
wow.
And so yeah, no, it's like, and it's like I'm talking to people who haven't been to Egypt for a while. They weren't, I don't even remember if they were in the revolution personally, but I don't think they were in the revolution, but they literally remember seeing it. And I actually wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. And to those curious about the V for Vendetta mask, right? It's originally the Guy Fawkes mask. What is it? 5th of October. Remember 5th of November, which was this dude who had planned to blow up British Parliament. But
Yeah, exactly.
the sort of meaning of it has been changed through Alan Moore's V for Vendetta's comic book, and then later movie, and then sort of the symbol of, or the mask of Guy Fawkes got picked up by Anonymous, and then slowly through the efforts of Anonymous itself and like what they stood for. Not anymore, because Anonymous is just fucking weird now, right? They just put out videos on YouTube and nothing else. They're like, "We're gonna warn you," and you're like, "Okay, what you gonna do?"
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh, okay. But the people have now sort of for quite a while have been using the face of anonymous, like of the Guy Fawkes mask, as a way of rebellion and like protest. And um well, two things. It was really interesting to see the sort of connection that happens within the modern work, right, of like a modern comic book and of something from like um I'm gonna say 1800s or 1700s, because I don't remember the actual correct date of the time the Guy Fawkes dude. But for that to
Yeah, and
connect it on top of, like you said, Tutankhamun's or Tutankhamun's golden mask, which was his burial mask. Um, and that in itself has a lot of interesting things, right? Because a burial mask is supposed to honor the dead, and it sort of shows you the image they're supposed to like resemble in the afterlife, right? And so it's like to replace that with like the face of revolution and anonymity at the time of protest also speaks to sort of like the will of the people, right? Like trying to sort of come back, if you will, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, absolutely. It's meant to represent the people. Like if you look at the original Tutankhamun mask, he has like the snake on top of his head, like that's like his crown. And I took that off. I didn't want him to represent like the pharaoh or the king. He's the people. He's representing the people. And like the idea of using the burial mask, or actually using Tutankhamun in particular, because he was a young kid. He died at a very young age. He died as a young kid, like 19, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of the kids who sparked the early revolution died around that age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was almost like an homage to these kids. Like that's how they are. They are the anonymous pharaohs. They are the kids who we don't know their names, but they fought for the freedom and the democracy of this country. That's their portrait. Like even when we made the sculpture, we wrote on the bottom of the box, "This is made in honor of the martyrs of the events of 2011-2013." So around that time, a lot of people died. I think over 1,800 people died. You know what I mean? That's a lot of fucking people. That's a lot of people.
It's like
And
even just all over, like we also forget sometimes that it's like we protested, Tunis protested, I believe, Libya protested, Syria started like within our lifetimes, we got to see Syria go from what a sort of so okay, financially struggling country.
No, man, Syria was great. Damascus, like Syria was
Well,
amazing.
I've never been to Syria. I just well, well,
I've heard Syria before that whole thing was beautiful. You know what I mean? Now it's a war zone.
so it's like it's been a heavy couple. It's been 10 years.
Yeah, it's been 10 years. I hope. Like, I honestly, I'm not sure what's the status of things is. I know Libya is fucked.
I from what I've seen, it's like well, I haven't really been keeping tabs on the politics of it as much because I'm just like nah, it's too mentally tiring. But
Absolutely.
I've been keeping tabs on the art scene within some of the Middle Eastern countries, and it's like some of the stuff that I've been seeing evolving within there, right? Sort of, it's actually great because it goes align with what your work is doing and what my own personal artwork is doing, and I never sort of expected it to happen, right? And
Mhm.
then the cool thing to me is like now we got NFTs. We had mentioned yesterday in the talk before it got deleted that in a lot of the Middle Eastern countries, crypto is banned. But there are ways to get around that stuff. It can be easily done, and so the fact that you've already started to mess with NFTs with your art, right? After being so widely known and internationally, and then people who will look at your work can immediately get inspired by it and be like, "Oh, I can do that. He's doing that as well." And then the fact that you're still here, you've sold some pieces as well. People, the fact that you're also able to like start your own project and release it, and it's garnering attention, right? Like that's pretty like commendable, and shows
Thank you,
like
man.
I mean, man, I was like sitting there yesterday. I was like, shit, like literally, because we're four people in this space, right? I mention this all
Uh-huh.
the time. I mention it to everybody I talk to, like who was like, oh, how many Egyptians are in this space? There's literally four. There's me, you, Mark Habibi, and Fool, right? For those who
Uh-huh.
are curious, Fool is literally Fava Beans. He's an artist located out of Egypt, which is really cool. Um, Mark Habibi, he's the dude responsible for Habibis, and then there's you, and then there's me. It's actually fucking it sometimes fucking feels fucking lonely, right? And then
I
I'm
know
I,
you're saying.
I'm legitimately getting excited because like well I got excited when I found out that the rest of your team is Middle Eastern because like all right cool there's more Middle Easterns in the NFT space, and so it signals that more people are coming in, and then slowly more people back home will come in, right? Which is great.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Like, I would say, like, my one of my people who works, those people who I work with, my animator Ali Spree. Um, he actually is from Lebanon. He's from Beirut, and he's been very, very active on the NFT space. He's been on it like way before me, I would say. Like he was like one of the first people to be like, you need to get on this ASAP, like maybe in like December or January. You know what I mean? So he's doing pretty well in Beirut. He lives there. He's actually we collaborate. He animated all the pieces that I have on Maker's Place, the NFTs that I have on Maker's Place. It was his animation. It was my art that was done by his animation. It was just pretty impressive if you look at it. It's like clockwork. It
Oh,
all works like
and the sound design too.
yeah. He
Like,
did the sound design as well. He's
oh,
pretty amazing. He's dope,
so
man. Yeah.
he's the one that did the animation and the sound design. Okay, wow.
Yeah, yeah, and he actually did some work for Astromojis too. So when we post like stuff for Astromojis that's animated, it's mostly Ellie as well.
Yeah, okay, that's very cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So we're here, man. We're here. We just didn't get our shine yet. We just didn't get the shine yet, but we're here. We're just slowly emerging. Like
uh,
Ellie's work has been collected by like so many like high collectors in the space. You know what I mean? So we're really getting our shine. It started to show. You just mentioned Habibi. I didn't even know about him, but like I followed him on Twitter afterwards. Mark Habibi, and I'm like, oh man, like we're really out here, we're really doing it.
Yeah,
So that's
it's
fucking beautiful.
it's sort of motivational. Did you see?
Yeah.
So did you see the Mo Salah GQ? Did you guys see the Mo Salah GQ cover today, this morning? Tell me you saw it.
No, I have
No,
Yeah.
not
I
actually.
didn't.
No,
I'm a big soccer fan, but I did not see that.
yo,
I
I need.
actually saw it. I actually saw it. They said that he's the best soccer player in the world, but the world hasn't admitted it yet, right? That was like
Yo,
the line.
that's a straight up a fact, bro.
That's
It's like it's when I tell you, man. I saw a video of people. What is it? So when I tell you, I saw a video of people. Um, my girlfriend was just came in. She's looking for the charger. I was like, what the hell's going on? But I saw a video of a whole crowd of soccer fans cheering his name, and I
Yeah,
almost lost my shit. I was like, no fucking way. Like,
yeah, it's
yeah,
crazy. You know, actually, in the time that he's gotten big in playing at Liverpool, they said there's been a decrease in hate crime, like Islamophobic hate crime in that area. So it's really amazing the power of representation and how these things have an effect. But I mean, I know we're not talking too much about soccer, but he has been, if not the over the past few months, if not the best player in the world, definitely one of the top few.
well, I mean,
So he's been
listen,
incredible.
if you want to talk soccer shit, you can talk your shit about soccer, fam. I'm not gonna come at you. It's Twitter that's gonna come at you, not me.
Yeah, maybe I got to watch. I'm a Messi fan. Maybe I'll get people giving me some hate for that too. But yeah, it's pretty incredible seeing what he's done. Actually, me and Marwan were talking about him the other time we hung out.
And I had conversations with people, and I was like, you don't realize you can achieve that level of greatness until you see it on people like you. You really don't. It's like there is a sort of mental block of like, can I achieve it? Can I achieve it? Is it even possible? And then, you know, speaking of us like achieving things, like we wake up this morning to extra motivation to like Mo Salah on the fucking GQ cover, wearing fashion that we know in the Middle East people would like look at and be like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" But
exactly.
now it's actually like I'm happy for this because it's like I realized what's happening actually through like paying attention to some of the art scene where it's like the work that Arabs, Middle Easterns, Africans, Asians, Latinos, wherever they do abroad slowly feeds back into their home countries and starts to inspire the work there. It's like this weird thing, but it's like people because if your work is good enough that you become known outside, then people will just like start to follow you. And so it's like slowly, I guarantee like we might get to see people in the Middle East start to dress like that, which is gonna be wild. And then slowly, like as we make art and then as people see your project release, like you get to inspire more people as well. Because literally 4 people, like it's crazy, you know?
Well, our project Astromojis actually have 14 people on our team. We're like 14 if I'm not mistaken.
14.
And
Yeah, we're more. We're more actually. Now we're 16.
So, oh yeah, so my bad. I'm sorry. I meant four as in like four Egyptians in the space, but
Oh
oh,
yeah,
my
yeah.
bad. I thought you were talking about Astromoid. My bad,
but
man.
so to those listening, like the cool thing is, when I through me talking to you, you said you've been building for 6 months. No, yeah,
Yes, 6 months. Indeed, yes. Astromoji's been in the works for 6 months. Uh, I would say I had the idea of making art with emojis for a while.
Mhm.
Like if you look at the emojis are the first time humans communicate with images since the ancient Egyptians communicated with hieroglyphs. This is literally the first time in human history we use pictures to communicate. And it's universal. Like, literally, I could send a text to someone in China with emojis, just praying hands and a heart, and literally he would understand what I mean. If I sent same emojis to someone in Egypt, they would understand the same thing that I'm trying to say, and that without using any language, without using any. So to me, emojis were very interesting, and they're like became like this icons that are
Mhm.
part of our lives. We're all used to them. We're all familiar with them. So I really wanted to really use that those elements in the art, but I was really thinking about what am I gonna do with it, and I remember talking to Arya about doing something for mental health, and we talk about doing something for mental health as in the NFT space, and then it just clicked. I was like, oh, let's do astronauts wearing emoji helmets, and they're like have like an expression on the inside, which is like they would be sad or angry, and they would be wearing like a happy or a laughing emoji
Mm.
helmet. You know what I mean? Just to express like the duality, the how we all act. Honestly, like most people just act all happy and successful, and things are great on Instagram and social media, but like in real life, they're dealing with some real shit. Like just this is how it is, and
It's true.
that's how we all are. But we just all of us just like feel like the need to carry this like other emotion on the outside. We have to represent ourselves in a certain way. And when someone asks you how you are, you have to say you're good. You know what I mean? Like you never, even if you're going through hell, you'd say I'm good. That's just how it is. And we're just like hiding uh, our true expressions. We just find ways to mask these our true feelings. And that was the concept. That was like the basis of
Mm.
how I came up with like the astro emojis. Um, but
Uh,
yeah, I would I would
uh,
let Arya talk more and give it more, and it will be like a really proper intro to the whole project and what we stand for, what we represent. I'm pretty sure he would.
y-
Uh,
yeah, so because this isn't, to those listening, this isn't sort of just a PFP project. There is from from yesterday's recording that is no longer here. Um, thank you, Power Grid of Canada, I guess. I found out that there's a lot of utility to this project, like legitimately a lot of utility, and just through the presence of Arya and Farid, like the moment I heard what Farid does, um, I was like, yo, hold on a minute. And so Arya, like, if I mean, well, actually, I'll just let you introduce the utility, and then we'll talk, because you guys got some actual wild stuff.
Sure thing, man. Thank you. Thanks again for having us. Um, so while Marwan was doing his Genesis pieces, before we
Mhm.
talked about doing NFTs together seriously,
Mhm.
me and Yurian, one of our partners in this project, were working on a very big PFP project right when PFPs blew up. I'm not going to say their name. I don't want to give them any credit. Their ethics drifted away completely, but that project blew up and we learned a lot. We learned a lot about what people want. We learned a lot about how utilities work.
Listen, if you want to talk shit, you can talk shit, sir. I don't mind.
No, it's not for you. It's just not. I appreciate it. It's just not my character. But
Okay.
yeah. So the project, I'll be very soft about it. The project represented pills, and we wanted to, point this to the direction of mental health and how people abuse,
Mhm.
pills. They start with the intention of, betterment, and then it drifts away into being something negative. So we're like, hey, you know what? We should do this for mental health. The people we were working with did not want to do much on utility, so we said, okay, this sucks. And fast forward after that project blew up, I said, yo, Marwan, like, you want to do PFPs, I want to do PFPs. Let's get this together and let's go in hard. So we did uh, both agree that we wanted to do something in mental health and wellness. And I said, all right, unlike before, I want to start working with people I know, people I can trust. And that's where Farid came in. So Farid was the first person, we brought in after we identified what we want to tackle. And I've known Farid for a few years. He was my neighbor in West Hollywood, Beverly Hills area. We used to have tea and stuff. And I used to have some house parties or gatherings. And that's where Farid and Marwan met each other. So it was a perfect marriage of, venture. And I said, yo, Farid, I need your help to, basically okay a lot of these brands and businesses that I want to onboard as our utilities. So Farid basically is the gatekeeper to make sure that we don't fall for things that pretend to be supportive for mental health and wellness.
Mhm.
Fareed is a doctor. He's a clinical psychologist, and with his help, we were able to close Wim Hof Foundation as our utility. So we're giving away Wim Hof courses. Wim Hof is the Iceman who basically helps you mediate and control your mind into telling your mind, excuse me,
Mhm.
how you should feel, in extreme stress, extreme temperatures, and so on and so forth. Another utility that we have is the Muse headband. Muse headbands is a haptic headband that when you wear, it reads, your pulses, your stress, and your readings that comes off of your head to tell you if you had a productive sleep, if you are working out properly, if this is a good time for you to work, if you're too stressed or if you're too loose. It
Mhm.
gives you immediate haptics. And beyond these two features, we're also having a brain gym in our Discord where we have a peer-to-peer solution where people would be talking to each other about, some of the challenges they're facing in the blockchain and or NFT space. People can talk about, how to deal with FOMO with each other, how to deal with, lack of sleep, lack of foods and eating, and Fareed will be checking in once in a while, along with other experts that we're working with to bring in to help them out. And last but not least, in addition to all of these, we're all working together to open the first permanent uh, uh, therapy center in the metaverse.
Mhm.
Uh, so we're trying to work on that. We're going to start off with one program, and it's going to come off as the first mental health and wellness festival in the metaverse. And we're doing that a month from our launch. As part of this festival, we're going to have a main stage with keynote speakers, everyone ranging from life coaches that train astronauts, Fareed himself. We're bringing wellness experts, music performers, in parallel to the main stage and the performances that's happening. We're going to have some experience real estates in the metaverse, and some of these could be marketplaces where you could buy, wellness and mental health products or services, and some of the other ones, such as Fareed himself. We're going to have a therapy center where you come and get guidance as to what direction you should take, or if it's your first time talking to a therapist, you'll tell them like, hey, I'm dealing with A, B, and C. What should be my first step? How can I build my confidence? Or at the same time, we're also having workshops in these areas where you can come with, let's say, your new business partner, and you say like, hey, we love each other as business partners, but we have difficulties. What can we do to improve our relationship for the betterment of our mental health and our venture at the same time? So in addition to all this, we also have other amazing things that we're giving away. Marwan is working with the probably the biggest and the highest quality sculpture company to make Astromoji action figures. Marwan is also working with phenomenal merch designers for us to make real life merches as well as digital wearable merch. And uh, to put it in very short, we're selling the Astromojis for only 0.07 ETH, but the value that you're going to get back will range between $2,400 to $5,000, depending on how active you are in the space. If you're someone that just goes to a couple of our events, the basic that you're going to receive from this is worth $2,400. Now, I'm giving you the math, but I don't want it to be about the math. I'm just saying that really we're in a place of purpose and not position. We're not trying to make this be top 10 on OpenSea. We're trying this to be people's top 10 choices to go to when they need help.
I mean, I'm I'm honestly really excited about the space Fareed is gonna host because one of the coolest things. Have you guys seen those people of VR videos by any chance?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's
The
so
the metaverse VR videos.
well no like so I've I think ever since VR chat launched, people realized, like this dude on YouTube realized that he could essentially do what, like the famous Facebook page People of New York was doing, but with video form, interviewing just random people that he met
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
in VR
absolutely.
chat. And then slowly, just through that, people were starting to find like, you know, this like pastors who could no longer like be able to host a church like in person, or don't have access to a church, and so they built their own church in VR, and anybody can come in, or like this a lot of things have evolved where it's like people have now sort of started to seek like c- console in in the virtual realm, right? So it's actually great that you guys are sort of providing that within the crypto metaverse, right? You guys mentioned, you said Decentraland, right?
That is right. Yeah, we're going to do this in Decentraland, and we're partnered with one of the biggest landowners in Decentraland. We're partnered with Impact.
Oh,
Impact
nice.
is backed. Yeah, they're backed by the biggest trust fund company in the UK, and they're also backed by Edinburgh University. They also help Decentraland with research and development, and they only work with companies that do, or I guess NFT communities that do things for good,
Mm.
or for the betterment of the community. So we're very proud and happy to be, in their circle. And yeah, I like for you to take over. I feel like I'm talking too much. Sorry.
No,
No, and
I was gonna transition right over to you, for you, because yesterday we had talked a little bit about mental health and how it's important, especially in a space that moves 24/7 nonstop at such a volatile rate. And I was using the example of crypto skulls yesterday, right? Because I had told you guys I bought I bought one motherfucking crypto skull 10 months ago. 0.007 ETH. When punks started to pump and everybody said all these punk like derivatives copies aren't gonna do shit. And then out of nowhere, 2 days ago, two whales together decide to buy up the whole fucking floor, 600 to 800 NFTs, and raise the floor essentially overnight to 1 ETH. And then today I was observing the price action because it's just fun for me to see this, and then it collapsed to point 0.4 at some point, right? And then the hilarious thing is, I got to see. Yeah, have you got? I imagine you guys have seen those listings where it's like somebody has bought it for like 2 ETH, and then you get to see like bought for 2 ETH, listed 4.5, and you're like, yeah, you fucked up, you fucked
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
And so it's like, so we joke around. Like I personally joke around if it's a project that I like, I'm like, I'll relieve you of your sin and I'll just pick it up. But that's also like a burn because it's like it shows on the transaction history that if you get to flip it for a larger thing, that it's like, yeah, I got to get it for cheap after this dude didn't hold. But you know, that sort of volatility and seeing people list their NFTs at half an ETH after they bought it for an ETH and a half, right? It's hilarious, but it's also indicative of like, wow, like these people are they're mentally sort of unprepared for the space, right? And it's like, I mean, I imagine Farid, you've seen some weird fucking shit that as a therapist you'd be like, oh yeah, those are some fucking problems right there. I imagine.
well, first of all, pleasure to be on here. I think the only thing I said something about soccer, but I'll introduce myself. So I'm Farid Halakwi. I'm a clinical psychologist and the mental health expert for Astro Emojis. And Arya kind of explained it. He brought me on to make sure, the project, which is focused on mental health, is actually legitimate and,
Mm.
is going to actually help people. And we go in the right directions, don't go in the wrong directions. And so I was really excited. The space was very new to me and still is relatively new, but I feel much more comfortable than I did a few months ago, and understanding what's going on in the NFT space. It's still learning. And so, yeah, we want to make a positive impact. As you were saying, there's a lot of, anytime humans enter a new type of space, culture, activity, there's always going to be also space for good and space for dysfunction,
Mm.
And so definitely in the NFT space, there is a lot of potential for good. And you talked about some of that, and there's even more to be done. But, we can find a lot of areas that people can mentally really get themselves in a bad place from, imbalance. You can get obsessed. You said it's 24/7, so you can literally just feel like nonstop. I got to be on there, coupled with that FOMO and the fear of missing out on not fun in this sense, but more of like a good deal and getting finding the next big thing and all those types of things. So there's such a potential for good, but it's such a potential for imbalance. And so something we want to try to help people achieve and make more common in the space is trying to promote mental health, mental wellness, checking in with yourself, seeing how you're doing on a daily basis so you don't get out of balance. But then also provide them with the utilities that Arya was talking about in mental health resources. And we're really working hard to see what we can provide. So when we talk about a therapy center in Decentraland, it's going to take some building. Usually you have to worry about like the brick and mortar part of building something. But here it's also about the logistics and what we can do, because we really want to provide services for people. But sometimes we have to be aware, and that's also something I'm being mindful of what we can and can't do. And, probably long-term therapy is not something we could do at this moment, but we can provide a lot of things that can help people in tangible ways. And that's what we're moving towards, having this center where people can actually come and get some help, or just going to have also a community feel. People can come and talk to like-minded people who want to talk about mental health. So there will be professionals like myself involved, but also a peer-to-peer kind of a social support as well. So I think it's pretty cool that it's going to be in the metaverse, but it can have this real ability to connect people in an emotional way, even if they are physically apart. And I think that's one of the main potentials of the metaverse, is that it can breed connection. It can also create disconnection if people are escaping only and not connecting. But I think there's a lot of space for connection. And so we're definitely also trying to promote that. And it's been such a pleasure to work with the team, and, just to be a part of anything with Marwan. He's such an incredible artist, is very cool. But seeing the legitimate value that the whole team is trying to make sure is given out to the community is also very special. So I'm really honored to be part of this team.
I mean, it's great that you guys are being thorough to try to actually make sure that you're including, actual mental health advice and correct mental health advice, not, some fake stuff or some,
Yeah, exactly. And that's that
Mm.
is something important for us, is to make sure that that's there, like, to give something that has value and isn't empty. And that sometimes means, you have to do it in a more methodical way, or it might take a little bit longer to do some of the things we want to do. But our goal is to get to that point. And we had a Twitter space today, and this came up too, where I just think it's unlikely that there won't be things like this, like therapy in the metaverse, or right now we've moved so much towards telehealth. I haven't seen a client in person since March 2020 because of the pandemic. And so so much of what we're doing, we're realizing, there's so much, I'll also say this: I think you can never fully replace being in the same room with someone, just in general, not just therapy. That's something very special. But we also have all these ways of connecting people to services they maybe could not access if they had to go find a therapist in their neighborhood, let's say. And I think that's the goal, and it could be pretty cool, and where someone who might not be able to afford therapy around where they live, might be able to find a legitimate, type of therapy. And so I'm sure even they'll have to be regulated, and all sorts of things will have to come with that. But I think it's a very cool and promising idea to be able to provide mental health services to people that might not otherwise have access to it.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. I've been growing up, making friends online and having, some of the best moments virtually, right? And a lot of people have made bonds and have had, have gone through hardships that were sustained through virtual relationships with other humans, just in different locations, right? Whether through games, videos, movies, video chats with their friends, group chats, all of that. And so, I mean, it makes absolute sense that, that's part of like the NFT space. And I think it's actually great that it sort of ties into the work, right? Because we had talked yesterday about,
Yeah.
How people associate themselves with the artwork, with certain artworks or certain things, right? And they see themselves in it. And especially the cool thing is, right, with astromojis, we get to see what Marwan likes to put from himself into this project, right? Some of the Egyptian inspirations and like the stylistic choices, right? So People who
Yeah.
happen to be Middle Eastern and Egyptian from that get to associate with that. People who love emojis get to associate with the emojis. Um, People who love sort of the duality theme that's going on between the emojis being the helmet, right, and the faces, right.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, I think
get
that's
to
pretty
see
cool.
themselves, and so it's actually pretty interesting. And then it also builds utility and allows you guys to give them, they get access to it. But are you going to be addressing them as like patient astro emoji number 67?
Well, I mean, Marwan could obviously speak on the art side, but yeah, the obviously the utilities we're trying to add value in ways that genuinely will help people. But the art, as I was saying earlier, I think is just so incredible, and Marwan is so talented. And the astro emojis themselves, it's such a cool concept because so they're astronauts, which we usually think they're going to outer space, but the astro emojis are going into inner space, so they're trying to explore and understand themselves. And therapy, a lot of times people think, oh, therapy means you go and you fix your problems, and there obviously is that, and there's all the healing, and then you might even address specific problems. But if you take you zoom out a bit, really what you're doing is you're focusing on self-awareness, self-exploration, self-understanding, and building self-love. And so the astro emojis, they're trying to they're venturing off into this journey into inner space in a path to create inner peace within themselves. And then, so once they achieve that inner peace, now they might no longer need that helmet anymore because they can be their genuine self and face the world authentically with who they are, not having to wear a mask or to show another face to the world. So I think the art, I mean, as art always is, and Marwan could obviously speak to it because he's the artist, but there's so much depth to it. And to me, so much resonated with what we know as therapists and in psychology about what really matters and what's important. But this idea of exploring inner space and creating inner peace, I think, is very cool. So I don't know, Marwan can maybe speak more on the art.
I actually wanted, like, well, we the art actually touches a lot of things, right? Because the simple fact that, well, how many assets, Marwan? How many assets is this? Like,
Um, so are we talking like so it's like seven attributes. I think we're over 150 traits. We have 1,111 astromojis. Uh,
and like,
yeah, it's a
how many layers did you like? How many different like things did you draw? I imagine it's over a
um,
hundred, right? Like,
yeah,
over that.
it's way over that, honestly, man. Like, cause as I said, I've been working on this project for 6 months, and I'm a fucking perfectionist, like to the fullest. Like, it's obsessive. Like, my OCD is like serious problem. I'm sure if you've seen the rest of my work, you can tell
Oh,
like all the details and all the stuff that I put in it is just like I go crazy. So working on this project was like I've worked on really big projects before, but this was easily the biggest project I ever had to work on because I had to make sure like every emoji feels unique and different, and I wanted to all I wanted them to be like when people hold like collect an emoji, I want them to feel identify with that emoji. That's why
mhm.
when I say like we're working on the action figure, like I care about this shit, man. Like I'm an artist and a collector at heart. Like I collect art and I collect action figures and I collect NFTs. Like this is what I love. I love this shit. So this is why when we went to the action figure company in Singapore, they make stuff for Marvel and DC. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
they make,
nice.
yeah, like they're literally the go-to for Disney. They're like the number one like they make like these huge models and they make like the small action figures. And like one of the things we talked about is like when we create the Astromoji, we want it to come with different parts so you can like exchange his helmet. So you can take off like the angry helmet and put in like the uh happy helmet. You can put in like the heart the face helmet. You know what I mean? So people would have the opportunity to like customize and personalize their action figure. You can put it on their desk next to
Oh,
the computer. Yeah, like that's just where I usually take all of my work really, and Astromojis being such a big project, and like me being blessed to work with people like Ari and Fareed, who like not only like the art speaks volumes into like how we express ourselves in real life and how we are uh working, how we are treating our mental health and all that. But like these guys like saw the potential of this series and this artwork and wanted to bring that in real life and on Web3. So like actual utilities that's gonna help and heal people. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that to me is beyond. That's what a collaboration is, and this just makes me feel like it's all worth it. Like all those fucking crazy nights. Like I started working on Astromojis while I was finishing up work for my third solo show here in LA, and yeah, it was crazy times, man. It was definitely
That's
crazy times.
that's actually crazy that you started this while working on a different show, because it's like I can well I like it's because doing a show takes so much. Like you have to work a lot and then focus on how the show is gonna play out. Is it put up right? Are people walking through it right? That's not even
Yeah,
touching art side. And
yeah,
then
yeah, absolutely.
that's damn. And then I imagine you guys. Well, when are you launching?
We have our pre-sale going on January 21st, and we have our public sale going on January 24th.
Sorry, you cut out there towards the end.
Oh, I'm sorry. So again, the pre-sale is on January 21st, and the public sale is going on January 24th.
Oh, okay. All right. So I
Yeah,
imagine,
yeah.
are you still
And
are you still like drawing assets? Because I remember, and to those listening, we the Metakey released we released our Metacrew, I think about a month or 2 months ago now, and talking to Billy, the director there, right? I was talking to him, and the man essentially sort of went crazy, not only drawing the assets but talking to the coder. Because and to those listening, that's an aspect that you don't hear a lot from like actual good PFP projects, is like the code and the algorithm aspect that generates all this shit. Because you can draw assets easily, but once you realize, oh, the code doesn't realize glasses go on top of eyes, or if there's glasses but long hair, I gotta change the layer so the glasses are the second layer of the face, not the third. And like you gotta actually have to sit down, define that, and then if like that works out, then you might realize, oh, hold on, the glasses don't fit the shape. So you have to go back and redraw the glasses, and so it's a lot of fucking work to produce a genuine like
I,
hand drawn PFP sort of project. And
Man,
then
I can't even begin. Like if you see that how Astromojis are detailed, like the cool thing about Astromojis is they designed to look good if they're like super zoomed out, and they're designed to look great when you really zoomed in and you want to see like all the little details in the suit and all the screws and the mecha stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's super interesting in that way, but
Mhm.
it's very detailed. It's like it's not like your usual simple doodle PFP project. It's like a full on artwork. Like it almost looked like a I would say like a full on comic book page. You know what I mean? So just the fact that I had to like really make sure like all these assets and all these traits really work together. It was hectic, man. That's what literally took the 6 months of work. Is just have to make sure that all this stuff work, and like a lot of assets got scrapped. A lot of assets were added last minute, but I'm done with all the assets actually. Right now, I'm working on 11 legendary astromojis, which
oh,
will be
nice.
will be like facing forward. So all the astromojis have like a profile side view, but these 11 are going to be like facing forward, so you get to see like the whole like a symmetric full on astromoji full body. And yeah, they're just going to be hitting throughout the collection, and I guess like 11 super lucky motherfuckers going to get them. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Nice. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I imagine you're gonna like take the biggest fucking break after its launch. You have
Honestly, man,
to.
I can't. I can't.
No,
I
why?
can't. I got a mural in Hollywood that I got to paint that I already signed for, but I keep delaying it because of Astro emojis because I'm really focused on that right now. So as soon as I'm done with Astro emojis, I gotta get to that mural. So it's nonstop for me, man.
Yo,
This
you
is
realize like if it sells
this is
out, you
how this is how you end up seeing the work. You know what I mean? That's that nonstop hustle. That's just
it's
part of the
true.
game.
That's true, but like you
Literally.
realize if it sells, like if it fully sells out, right, in like a day, or like if the whitelist like caps and then public mint caps and like it sells out, you're gonna like go into that mural like having made like over like $1 million or some shit, and still have to
Yeah.
paint that. You and
But
and the team is
honestly,
gonna be like, oh, where is he?
honestly, man, like painting a mural or doing a project like that, it's not even about the money at that point. Like it's just making that mark. Like make putting a mural out in Hollywood. Like you got these
Hey, that's
legendary
facts. That's facts.
fucking like I'm the mural that I'm painting is right across from the Magic Castle. That's like an iconic place that people from all over the world come
Yo,
to
hell
see.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's you can't even put a price on it. Like I'm lucky. I'm absolutely blessed that I'm getting paid for it. But I would do it for free. I hope the clients wouldn't hear this podcast. But I literally would do it for free. It's just the fact that it's legendary. When you put a mural up on a street like that, it's legendary. Um, but yeah, Astromoji is honestly, man, this project is meant to heal people, and I hope it really sells out. And I hope like people really get to see the community and the utilities we're offering. I can honestly say that we are like offering like three or maybe like 10 pre-sale spots for the listeners of this session here. Like we can if they join our Discord and maybe like give a secret code or something like say the Metakey or some shit like that, then maybe we can hook them up.
Uh,
Um,
hell yeah, I'll try. You guys said public whitelistment goes live on the 21st. I'm trying to connect you with the men ego is vetting.
okay,
It's just a hectic time. It's like the team is because of COVID is happening, they're all working from home, and so they're nobody's at the office to essentially be able to be like, hey, can we do this or can we do this real quick? And so it's taking a while to make the rounds. But
yeah, absolutely,
I'm trying to connect you with guys to like make it an official thing. But I mean, like from my understanding, like officially, you guys can just also provide those, and so we'll definitely talk more. We'll definitely talk more about that as well.
absolutely.
And and then I'm actually excited that you get to paint on a mural. Are you gonna like put astromojis in it or like a little
Oh
astromoji in
man,
there?
actually, you know what? Like I actually had another talk about this doing another Astromoji mural in Santa Monica. That was like
Oh,
one of the things like this was gonna be like a surprise. Like after we sell out, we would like show off this like massive mural in Santa Monica. It was just Astro emojis, like maybe have like massive Astro emojis on it. People love the Astro emojis, man. It's amazing. Like people really fuck with the art, and once they see, like we've been having a lot of people like faking our projects, putting up fake Astro emojis on OpenSea, like
already?
crazy. Like oh my goodness, man! Like we've knocked down like I think 10 collections already, and there's
Yeah, dude.
like one every day. I swear to God, it's nonstop. I mean, like goddamn.
And these guys go so far. These guys like Photoshop what we have in as many editions as possible out of like the 30 pictures we posted on social media. I mean, like these guys,
So
it's not like an automated thing. Like these guys are strategically like they're like, damn, people
Literally,
are
they're
crazy about this
actually
project. Yeah.
yeah.
what I've realized is Photoshop has a plugin, a randomization plugin that
Oh shit.
literally allows you within one fucking click of a button to produce as many possible variations of the layers you have. Just hit enter, it does it. And so what's probably happening is these dudes are like saving your images and just like cutting up like the main assets that can be cut up and just feeding it through that plugin, and they're getting as many
No, no, no.
possible.
So I see what you're saying, but no, these guys literally
Like they're actually
they
like
they
Go ahead.
It's like proper work. They like Photoshop. Like we don't put real photos mixed. Well, I should say Marwan doesn't put real images of space, real images of the sunset, and mixes it with the background. And
Oh yeah,
these guys are getting like surreal features and mixing it in,
you
trying
know.
so hard to make it look legit.
No, that's what I mean. It's like it's so easy with that plugin. Like if they include like random assets, that the code will just like auto randomize that it will like start to fit in. It's like it's actually I'm just like I'm pointing that out just to like to
Oh
make you
wow.
guys aware of like some of the stuff, because then you can try to include certain things in the images you post that are able to stop that sort of image cutting.
Well,
Because
yeah, there is honestly the transparency in the helmet. So one of the cool fucking things about the Astrobojis is the helmets are transparent.
yeah, so
So
they can't get
even
the
when they do that, yeah, it's never the same. It always shows. You know what I mean? Like if you zoom in, they will see pixel. You see something cut off, messed up. It's never right. You know what I mean? So
like we're hustling and they're hustling out there too. Goddamn, fucking. It's actually
yeah,
crazy.
man.
Like Metakey had the same thing. We launched Key 4, and it essentially that enough. We had enough traffic. It simulated a DDoS attack on Rarible and took it down. And that
Oh well.
allowed somebody within that time frame to launch their own fake collection, and they made like 50K, 80K in 10
Wow.
minutes
Yeah.
before we. And what also happened is this is actually crazy, and it's actually good that we're talking about this right now, because it's like it allows you guys to prepare. At least Marwan, I don't know who's responsible for your Discord security, but like beef up that Discord security pre-mint, because and make sure you have like an a robot ban, or like a robot kick bot that sweeps your Discord every hour or so and kicks all bot accounts that are not registered by you guys or not deployed by you guys, because Metakey had 15,000 bot accounts, or sort of like close to like maybe like half of those were just complete bots. And the
Yeah.
moment we launched, enough threads, enough messages got deployed that they broke our bots, and that's where like the hacked, like the fake like listing got listed. It was like it was crazy. It was like 1,000 messages per second, slow mode for an hour, didn't even slow chat down for a little bit. So
Man.
prepare for that, because it's like sometimes it seems slow right until whitelist and mint, and then your Discord just gets flooded. And
Yeah.
so yeah,
Thank you,
it's
man. Honestly, I know that Arya have like Arya. How many people we have on Discord? Like we have a fucking team on Discord, man.
Dude, we
Like
have like first of all, our Discord lead. They're two Bahraini guys
oh
from
nice.
Bahrain in the Middle East, and I think they're the only people from Bahrain actually. And they're pretty big. They help the community and Discord of Dead Fellas, the Lemons, and now they're working with us.
Oh nice.
They stand with us. But in addition to them, we're also working with Justin and Alex, who've helped Sabet, Carson, and all these other people. And in fact, our we have a lot of bots, and they're so strong. We're having trouble for people who win pre-sales to like come in to put in their listing. So we actually had to water it down. But you are right. People target Discord the most
Yeah, it's
because
true.
the buyers are already here. They're ready to pay. And they want to be the first to buy. So yes, you are right. It is a very vulnerable place for everyone.
It's crazy. It's I remember you guys probably heard like Top Shot got hacked, their Discord got compromised, and then Cool Cat, or like another three big NFT projects got compromised on the same day. And it was like seeing that, like our Discord went into shutdown mode where everybody just shut down their DMs. We were like, no, sorry. Like if you want to get in contact with us, like these people out there are fucking crazy. And then like we've also heard of motherfuckers deploying their own contract onto the minting contract. Somebody managed to do that because like, have you guys heard about that wild story?
Minting? Do you mean like backend minting on behalf of another NFT project?
No, so I think there was a project that when they were coding, and this is just like a hilarious story just for y'all because it was funny just to like watch, and to those listening. I mean, like, it's, if you know coding, you could probably pull it off in like a non, like a half-ass project. But this dude realized that their code, their minting contract, can be interacted with, and so he wrote up his own smart contract that allowed him to bypass the 1 mint limit, or the like the 8 mint limit, and he minted
Oh
two
yeah,
on
dude, that
chain,
happens a lot. Oh
right?
my God, dude. Yeah, that was one of the biggest flaws of the mechas. I don't know if you remember the
Is
3D,
I think that may have been, yeah. Well, dude, mechas, those are, we don't talk about those no more.
yeah, yeah, but they had the same problem because they limited people to two, and they realized that there was like 8 or 9 wallets that got like a lot of them. And the best or strongest and most reputable contract that I heard of is Artifact. They had everything from making sure that even the two most similar traits don't look the same. When
Mhm.
you try to buy from a main source wallet, even if you have distributed wallets, it triggers. So, a lot of people can fake up to like 300 wallets from the same system. Somehow this was able to catch that and keep you from like, minting more than one, even if you bought their previous product. So it is getting better. And one of the developers on our team
Mm.
is Geo from the Mutniks, and he's like one of the pioneers in, finding a way to shuffle every time you mint something. So even if you intentionally try to like get something you want, a specific trait, because you're like so good as a developer or as a specific like number of mints that you want to break through,
Mhm.
the program shuffles it, shakes it up right before you receive your NFT, and you're like, "What the hell? I thought I broke in and I like did this." And so he's
Oh,
working with
nice.
us, and we're quite lucky, with the team that we've created. And like Marwan said, we're like over 15 people at this time, and that also means that we gave away our percentages,
Mhm.
but we're purpose driven, and we know that with the success of this project, we're going to do many more things.
No, I mean, it's great that you guys already have all of that. It's it's just, to me, it's like hilarious. Just that, if you're that good at coding, you can like break into like multi-million fucking minting contracts by like these half-ass companies, right? Because like
Yeah.
you guys have put in enough work that it's, it is.
And that's the thing,
Mm.
no matter how good you protect yourself, if someone wants to hack through, they will hack through.
Oh no, of
There's so much you
course.
can do,
Well,
you know.
we got the what is it, quantum computers and their ability. I don't know if that's a conspiracy theory, but I've heard people saying quantum computers can now decrypt the encryption hash or whatever, that for, or like decrypt your 12 seed phrase and shit like that. I was like, oh, okay, great, here we go.
No, that's technically,
Is that
uh,
you?
I, I
you
I heard about that. Technically, you need every connecting blockchain to your blockchain to do
mm,
that, which
every,
technically means you can't have one server, one computer to do this. I'm sure somewhere in the near future, someone's going to break the
probably.
code. But, we had the same thing. When the internet first started, people said, oh, yeah, Visa is safer than cash. We have hackers coming in, but, it's improving. It's definitely better than Web 2. But
Oh,
again, if
absolutely.
someone wants to hack, they will hack.
It's
You
true.
can't do anything about it.
It's true. And then all, and then just a reminder to those listening: stay safe out there and get a hardware wallet. Do you guys have a hardware wallet? Tell me you got a hardware
I,
wallet.
I actually just got one. But yeah, we should probably. I don't know if everyone else has one. Ultimately, we should probably, with the income from this, buy everyone like a cold wallet with. Yeah.
Marwan, do you have a hardware wallet or
Actually, no, I don't actually
no?
have one. No,
And
I know. Don't,
I'm not
don't get
gonna.
me
No, no, it's
started.
fine. I literally just bought mine 3 days ago. It's like, if you don't make if you don't make enough capital in crypto, sometimes it really doesn't justify getting a hardware wallet, because it's like, also if you need the money like right away, or if you like need it in a few months, it doesn't really justify getting a hardware wallet. But like, what is it? After a certain amount of money, usually people say when you start to lose sleep over your wallet, that's when you should really get a hardware wallet, because
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
but yeah, it's like I just got mine, and then those have been making the space eternally safer. And to those listening, yeah, go get your fucking hardware wallet. Go do it. Stop
You should get
procrastinating.
sponsored by one of these companies.
Listen, one day, Metakey might do it. Yo, they partnered with fucking NASA, and they partnered with the fucking Australian Open. So I don't know what Metakey might partner with in the future.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like we literally woke up one day and it was like, yeah, we got NASA traits in our PFP. I was like, excuse me? And they're like, yeah, official NASA traits. I was like, oh, okay, all right, shit. But anyways, it was great having you guys on. Marwan, this was fucking man. This was great. We didn't
And
talk a little.
it was
Mhm.
my honor, man. Like honestly, that was beyond what yeah, we didn't.
Like I was gonna say, we didn't delve too much into your art like we did in the recording yesterday. But I was thinking, I was like, since you guys are launching pretty soon, let's focus on Astro emojis and the art you did for that, and then after that's done and you're done with mural, uh, I was thinking of hosting you back on as well, and then we'll dive deeper into just like Marwan Shaheen's art, his
Absolutely,
NFTs
man.
and the animation and all of that. But again, thank you
Uh, we-
guys for coming. Sorry, you were gonna say something.
no, I was just saying I would love that, man. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Um, Farid and Arya, thank you guys for coming. It's great talking to you guys. Even
It
we
was a
talked, I think,
pleasure,
for
man.
like, yeah, I think we talked for like 30 minutes before we started recording, and we were just like shooting the shit, joking around. It's pretty fun. But again,
Yeah,
thank you
man.
guys for coming. I have your links downloaded. Sorry, in the description below. And if you guys want any links to be specifically included in the description, just send them to me.
Sure thing.
This
And
mhm. You were saying
sorry, I
something?
just wanted to say that we'd love to invite you. We have a talk pretty much every day of next week, every other
Mhm.
day of this week, and we'd love to have you, as a guest. You bring such a great perspective to a lot of things. And we have a bunch of Arabs in this group, man. I mean, like, other than myself and Marwan, and we have the two Bahraini guys. We have Eli. Like, this is a quite a Middle Eastern movement.
It's I will definitely be there. I knew you guys were having a space today, and I missed it because I had to go get some grocery shopping.
That's all good. All good.
I was like, I hunted the wolf, and then I ate it all, and so I was like, shit, gotta go to the store, gotta get me some sausages. But I'll definitely join that. And again, thank you guys for coming on. To
Thank you,
everyone
man. Thank
listening,
you.
go follow them. Go follow Astro Emojis. Stay updated. Yeah, that's the term YouTubers use. Stay updated with their news, and when they go live, if you like the art, go buy it. But yeah, and I will see you guys in the next talk. Bye.
Thanks.